Douglas Daniel Clark, born March 10, 1948, is an American serial killer. Clark and his accomplice Carol M. Bundy were known as the Sunset Strip Killers. Quote, they were accused and subsequently convicted of a series of killings in Los Angeles. Biography. Clark was the son of a naval intelligence officer, Franklin Clark. His life began to unravel at this point and he was discharged from the Air Force and he drifted around for the next decade, often working as a mechanic. But his real concentration was his vocation as a sexual athlete, the king of the one-night stand, as he liked to call himself. Quote, he soon moved in with her and found out that she too had dark sexual fantasies. Murders. Clark started bringing prostitutes back to the apartment that he shared with Bundy to have sex with both of them. Then, Clark began to take an interest in an 11-year-old girl who was a neighbor. Bundy helped lure the girl into sexual games and posing for sexual photographs. The killing began during June 1980. Clark came home one night and told Bundy about two teenagers, Gina Naranjo and Cynthia Chandler. He had picked up on the Sunset Strip that day and subsequently murdered. He had ordered them to perform fellatio on him and then shot them both in the head before taking them to a garage and raping their dead bodies. 12 days after the initial murders, Clark killed again, and this time Bundy didn't call the police. The victims were two women, Karen Jones and X.E. Wilson. Like before, Clark lured them into the car, shot them, and dumped their bodies in plain sight. The difference this time was that he took a trophy, X.E. Wilson's head. Clark waited a month before striking again. Meanwhile, Bundy was still infatuated with John Murray, a part-time singer she had met at Little Nashville before she met Clark. She would go see him sing, and after a few drinks, her conversation would turn to things she and Clark were doing. Murray was alarmed and implied that he might tell the police. In order to avoid this from happening, in August 1980, Bundy lured Murray into his van after a show to have sex. Once they were inside, she shot him and decapitated him. Clark is believed to have murdered an unidentified youth who was discovered on August 26, 1980 in Newhall, California. The victim had been shot in the head and was found wearing only a red sweatshirt. Her face was reconstructed by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in efforts to identify her, as her remains were unrecognizable due to skeletonization. Arrest and conviction. Clark was immediately arrested and the guns were found hidden at his work. Bundy was charged with 2 murders. Murray and the unknown victim whose killing she confessed to having been present at. However, some doubt has been cast on the nature of Clark's conviction. Investigative criminologist Christopher Berry D. has contested that Clark could actually provide alibis for 5 of the 7 murders he was convicted of, and that the presiding judge refused to accept key physical evidence, including a witness and several banking documents that exonerated him in the murder of X.E. Wilson, with an almost total lack of physical evidence asterisk. Carol Bundy's testimony formed the entire basis of Clark's conviction. If you consider, A. bullets matching those found in the victims' bodies were found in the interior doors and cushions of Clark's Datsun. B. bloody boot prints found in a storage unit rented in Clark's name forensically matched the wear patterns of the motorcycle boots he was wearing at the time of his arrest. C. the twin Raven semi-auto pistols used in the killings were registered in Clark's name. D. bloody drag marks found on the floor of the storage unit matched victim Gina Naranjo. E. the twin Raven pistols were found hidden behind a boiler at his workplace. F. the pistols only had Clark's fingerprints on them. G. in Clark's wallet they found the phone number of a woman, Mindy Cohen, who was connected to victims Gina Naranjo and Cynthia Chandler, thereby linking him to them. And H. Mindy Cohen identified that the voice of a man that called and threatened her, saying, "I killed those girls and now I'm coming for you," was that of Doug Clark altered to be an almost total lack of evidence. Quote, "Then, yes. What's more, Clark's lawyer was drunk during most of the case, and fell asleep several times while Clark was being cross-examined.